Hey everyone, I am Phillip Wampler, the director, writer, and I also play Dwight Fairfield in the Dead by Daylight fan film titled Saved by Daylight. And I am actually here with the cast who brought this amazing project to life, and I'm so fortunate that they were able to do this and willing to do this, and it first of all means a lot to me that you guys are all here today to do this again. The story, real quickly, the irony of this is I literally walked into my acting class and I was thinking of this idea, and I was thinking, like, how could I do it with all these characters? I have to look for people online and stuff to make this. And I walked in and literally this entire group was sitting in the room, and they can verify that my story is correct because it was unreal how this happened.
You're like, yo, you look like.
Yes, wait, what, you guys all look like these characters. Holy cow, this is meant to be. So we went from there and we had, I think, an absolute blast working on it. But we're gonna start this out basically just a little Q&A and get into it. The first question I wanna know for everybody here is, what was, do you believe, the toughest scene that you had to film? And during the process, it was just really hard for you to maybe get through it, tap into it emotionally. What was most difficult?
For me, it was like the technical pieces to it where there's like the opening shot. I think it's one of the opening shots where I have to come and unhook you or whatever.
Oh yeah, the handcuffs, yeah.
So just like dealing with like the handcuffs and then like also hitting my mark to make sure that I was in eye level of camera of that one moment, because I had to like come in standing and then sit down and then also unbuckle your handcuffs. So there's just like all these elements where you don't think that like that would be difficult, but it is when you're trying to make it fluid and then like work in the scene, so.
Yeah, and I think the hardest part for me was kind of saying that Sam and tapping into such an emotional memory, because she was so triggered by the doctor, by his eyes. So during that scene, having to have all that emotion, really remember that. But then also, on a technical note, there had to be shadows in that scene that were on me.
And that was Gretchen and Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to continue to like do that like multiple times, but like still have that same energy emotionally.
That was such a cool shot.
That was a great shot. That was very cool.
I think because we filmed it in such a cool stylistic way, we really wanted to get that cool aesthetic happening, and so we had to really play with how we were going to set up these shots.
Yes.
Jack, let's do this one. What do you think Jake brings to the group that nobody else does?
I would say support and advice, because Jake lives in the wild. He's a nature man. He's a wild man. So when it comes to this kind of situation, he's really benefit to the group because he has survival instincts. You know, he can help and guide the group to survive.
All right, Andre, let's talk about Adam. So with Adam, who does Adam trust and who does Adam not trust? Let's go there.
Okay, for starters, Adam doesn't really trust anybody because he's not a person at all. I think it's less of a distrust and more of just uncomfortable feeling for everybody. He's not really open up to anybody at all until he has to confront, or Ace confronts him, and he especially doesn't like that at all. Like, he can't stand conversation. But then he does open up after a while to your character, because you ask me and you say, like, you get Ace out of the picture, you move him aside, because, good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
And you try to help me open up and, like, ask him about my backstory and how I am and all that stuff. And I think that's the first instance of me maybe not trusting her, but trusting her enough to be vulnerable with her. Open up to her.
So Gretchen, let's turn to Nia. With Nia, she obviously has had a long run-in with the cops, and her backstory is totally just included with incidents of bad things that have happened with the police, but that's her whole background. What did you take from that and turn her into sort of a person that immediately, as she meets this group, is willing to trust them and to let them out? I mean, she lets me out of my handcuffs right when she sees me.
Right.
What made that swap for you?
I think I kind of pictured it as like she's just a survivalist. Like, she's had to do what she's had to do to survive on the streets and in these really bad, horrible situations, and she might have made some mistakes. But when she's now put into this room, this cramped room with all these people, she's again having to survive. So that means pulling out her street smarts, going to help you. You might now you might owe me a favor, you know what I mean? Which would benefit me in the long run, but also, I think there's something to her that's gonna be, I think we'll see a little bit of her vulnerability opening up, because I don't think she's had to talk to people for this long in a while.
Yes.
So having to have that, I think there's now, maybe I can trust someone, maybe I can have a little companionship with these people because we're all in the same situation. So she's having to survive, and I think that's putting her in a different situation a little bit, because now it's with other people and not just herself.
Okay. So Mike, obviously playing David. David is known as the rugged scrapper. That's in his character story, his character background, his lore. What does David, as you've said before, David's the type that's willing to put himself on the line to protect these other people, to protect this other
risk
group.
it all always.
So why is that? Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of David has to stem back from his backstory, which just kind of happens with an unfortunate event, a little temper tantrum. He gets kicked out of a rugby game, kind of ruins his whole life. And I think I feel really sympathy for that character, just because something similar has happened to me personally. And I know it's like to just kind of always be sulking and want to do the right thing. And now I think David's in a room of strangers, and he has the ability to want to do the right thing, and has the potential through my perks to save everyone. So
I think Meg has a few things driving her. Firstly, survival. She wakes up with a huge gash on her face in this underground bunker dungeon, and she wants to survive and get back to her life. But also on the other side of her life is her mom, that she has devoted her life to take care of, and I think that she feels this huge obligation to get back to her mom and be that support for her and take care of her, because Meg was supposed to go to college to run and had a scholarship, and she gave up all of that because her mom was sick, and so she was taking care of her. And so I think that Meg is like, what is my mom gonna do without me?
All right, so we're gonna turn this now to a little bit more of involving the game with the film. So everybody has their perks handed out. They've all got their 3 perks for each survivor in the game. And we've sort of affiliated them in a different way with the film. So we're gonna ask Gretchen, you're first, and then obviously show which one you pick.
Okay.
Which perk would help you and the group the most in the film?
Okay, so I was debating between 2 for a little bit, but I'm gonna go with urban evasion. This one is, I think, really useful because my speed will be useful for just like my stealthiness and my speed. I have cat-like reflexes, so I feel like that'll be useful in any sort of danger that might come upon us, which I feel like we all know is inevitable
Yes.
in a situation. So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, Jasmine, you have a lot of crucial perks in this game.
This is hard.
I know. So let's hear your thoughts.
It's hard.
I think I'm going to use my botany knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And transform plants into medicine to heal others.
Okay, I like it. We'll see that in action for sure in the film.
Yes.
All right, Jack,
All right.
let's hear it.
There's 2 I'm debating on. I really like Saboteur, which is you can sabotage at 50% normal speed without a 2 blocks, which I think that's really convenient. And also Calm Spirit, which is you basically, animal can sense you, so there's a lot of crows in your stories and stuff. So you kind of invisible in a way,
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go with the Calm Spirit because you can go on missions very easily with that. The doctor won't know where you are, so I think that's very convenient.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Totally.
All right, Mike, which perk would help the most?
this is tough because I have some really good perks. But I think the best one to just help all of us would be that we're gonna live forever. And I think this is gonna be the most useful just because we're all trapped and we're all damaged. What I can do is protect all of us And that way, I think it'll be a group effort, opposed to my other good perk is the no mither, and what that does is basically make me the beast and take on everything.
Okay.
But I think it'd be easier if we all fight together and I can just protect everyone.
And Mike, I'm gonna guess the second question, that would be, which perk do you trash? That would be dead hard.
That would be dead hard, yeah. I just, it might upset the game viewers, I don't know. I think,
We're both doing that.
yeah, I might do it. But no, I think no mither would be another good one over dead hard anyways, just because you don't leave a trail of blood and get tracked. But, yeah,
Okay.
trash dead hard, guys, sorry.
Okay, Andre, you're not gonna disappoint the gamers. So
I'll try not to.
Let's hear it.
I feel like I went between these two for a while, but from the lore perspective, I would have to say diversion, just because every time there's like a survivalist kind of situation, there's always has to be like the bait.
Yeah.
Always has to help the rest of the group try to either get around the enemy or distract him. And I feel like with Adam Francis, he can really help as a healer, but there's also other healers on the group too, and other more athletically and skilled people. So I think his best bet to help the group is kind of just be bait.
This is a tough one. I'd probably go with, oh my word, I'd probably go with leader. Just because it has a lot of benefits, and I say this outside of the film, but there's so many things that it applies, like bonuses to. And they may not be what's related to the actual perk now with healing and tools, but I feel like it have a lot of other ways that it would work in real life compared to the game. So I'd probably pick leader.
That's yours, right?
That's,
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Oh.
what do you guys think the doctor, how's he gonna play into this? You guys, we don't know much about the doctor at this time. The last scene you see is all of the group of survivors staring at this door and seeing him approach with his electricity and the ability called Carter Spark on display.
You know, in Jaws, how whenever the shark is about to attack you, there's the music leading up to it. I feel like he's always going to be this like looming thing that we're just always going to be on edge about. And when he is approaching, it's going to be really intense, and he's going to be like the shark in Jaws.
Mhm.
That's how I picture him.
Okay. Jasmine, what do you think?
I think he's a trickster because when I first see him, I think that he's the doctor that I work with. So I feel like he is going to manipulate himself to make us feel comfortable, to get us close enough to then, do something bad.
So, Mike, what do you think? What's going to happen with the doctor? What do you think?
What do I think is gonna happen? I think, as Jasmine was kind of saying, he's like super mysterious. I almost think he kind of can come off as like your friend if you don't know. He's like, almost like that good-looking guy that has those crazy eyes that like you think is trustworthy, but once you like get behind closed doors, you realize they're like, the villain ultimately. So I don't think he's anything like crazy looking. I think he's a super normal guy. I think he's definitely built because for my backstory, he actually beat up the guy that beat me up, so I'm already like very terrified.
And that's not an easy thing to do for dating.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
not
so-
at all. I put down the hurting, but not that time.
Kind of sounds like he's describing Ted Bundy.
I think that's a great way of how I
Yeah.
see him. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that, and I feel like there's just like this ultimate reason that we're all in this together. We're pulled from different areas, and now we're here at this one moment, and he's very manipulative. So whatever the case may be, he might take out like one of us at a time to like do something to us, and then bring us back. And who knows what's gonna happen? But that last shot, I feel like there's definitely some sort of thing he's looking for specifically out of each of us, and I feel like we kind of like sense it
Okay.
within us.
Which character would be, after you've worked with them now, and say it's the actor, the person, and now with their character, would be the hardest to say goodbye to watch the death scene, and no spoilers. Which one,
Right.
if you were just right now, you'd say, who would that be? If you were not the one dying, and you had to pick somebody right now that you're gonna watch die, who would it be in the film?
Yeah, I would probably say like Jasmine's character, if you do that would be that'd be a loss, because she's like,
That's the meds. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is the doctor, so
Yeah.
we're hurting if we lose, not the real doctor, the killer.
Right.
No, that is our doctor.
she's the
Yeah,
supportive.
she's the only
Yes.
one.
Yeah, so if she passes, I mean, we're all screwed in a way.
That's a huge loss.
Absolutely.
It's a huge loss.
Sam,
I was also going to say Jasmine's character, Claudette, because she is the caretaker of the group. She takes care of everyone, and so if she died, to see her not be able to take care of her own self, where she's always helped everyone else, and for us not to be able to help her, I think that would be really a loss. Or you, because you're the leader.
Definitely Nia, because she's a jack of all trades. She can be a badass when she needs to, and she can be a leader. So if Dwight happened to go out, she can still jump in his place. She can be considerate and sincere, and she opens up and tries to relate to people. And I think she just has a lot of experience and skill that's all around. So I think I lost her. If the group lost her, it'd be just a major loss.
okay.
Yeah, I think strategically, if Dwight died, that would be a really big loss to the group. But emotionally, I think if Sam died, I would be able to handle that because I healed her, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I went through all this for her to stay alive, stay alive.
Okay. Mike, go for it.
I think David would have the most trouble with Dwight dying, because I think David's someone who really respects like leadership and authority, and I felt like in the basement, Dwight was the kind of the one that pulled us all together. And I think for David to lose a character like that in a relationship, that would be kind of like him just kind of being lost. Personally, I think, yeah.
How do you all see your character progressing in the story?
My character needs to grow some balls.
Oh.
I'm scared of like everything and hoping that like something will trigger either from his childhood or somebody, one of the people in the groups would just like knock some sense into him and make him realize that if you want to get out of this alive, you can't be scared and reserved like you've always been in the past. You gotta do something. So hopefully he gets some courage or mans up or something eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of how my character opens up a little bit now that he's faced to get along with strangers and fight for survival, so.
I'm excited. I hope that it means that Nia's gonna gain some friendships and like maybe start caring a little bit more for other people. I mean, I don't think that it's just been kind of for herself. She's needed, to just be selfish. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that expands a little bit more and just showing humility and having some tough decisions. And hopefully she becomes somewhat of a leader too in some of the situations because I feel like she has that within her. So it'd be kind of cool to see her rise to the occasion.
Awesome. Yeah. Sam?
I'd like to see Meg bond with everyone in the group because I think she has lived a life of being kind of at the top. Like, she didn't even know these people that she went to school with, and that all these people knew her, but she didn't know them. So I think it would be nice for her to get a little touch of humility and start bonding with other people. And also to see her to be reunited with her mom, I think would be really nice.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. For Jake so far, I kind of relate to Meg because Meg is like on top, but Jake is like on the bottom because he's always living in the wild by himself. So it'd be nice, and he's kind of an introvert, so it'd be nice for him to see him making friendship with these different characters and really get the skill of social and communicate with others.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go with this way. What can fans of the game expect from the film?
Honestly, it's so trippy that we all look so much like
Yeah.
So I think just for them to see it come off their computer screen and to be able to watch it like actual like humans interact, together, it's gonna be really cool.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
And I think they can expect something unexpected because I think they're used to all these characters being separate in their own separate worlds, and to see them kind of come together in like one area with like dialogue and all this script that you brilliantly wrote. I'm excited for them to see that. It'll be cool.
Give me your favorite memory of filming on location. What do you think of that?
I would say probably when we're all cramping in the restroom because it was so cold.
Oh,
Yeah. It was very bonding.
Yeah.
Because it was so cold that we all just kind of bonded together.
That restroom was the only thing that had the heater, right?
Yeah.
We built the fire pit. We
Oh,
actually
yeah,
ran
yeah,
the fire pit out, and I mean, that provided a little heat, but it was still freezing. I
That
couldn't believe how
was
cold
so
that was.
cold, yeah.
That was really bad.
I would have to say that the first thing that we shot was the final moment, right? Was when we were
The
at,
group,
like that lighting and like the fog and that. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my
So
god, this is so
well,
cool.
and that's the only scene, the entire thing, that color.
Yes, right, yeah.
Which I think, is that right? That's right, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only one that's in color.
That was pretty cool. That just like set the day and the tone for, I think, a lot of it. We were like, oh, this is.
Yeah, that definitely got some character.
Right?
I know they played the music in the background.
Yes,
They're
and
all
all like-
there.
And Dan was doing the doctor's laugh,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
saying
Yeah.
off camera. I forgot about that.
That
That was
was
great.
cool. He was like revving us up, so.
Yeah, that was
It was so easy to get into character down there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For
We
sure.
had, we had some really legit, like handcuffs
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah.
chains and stuff,
Yes.
so that was really cool too.
Good.
Also, a really cool part was just getting to watch all of these guys work.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Best.
They created such a cool world for us.
What do you take away from the process? In the end, what are you gonna take away with you, and what do you think just on the entire process of filming this project?
First of all, I just want to thank you, Phillip, for giving us
Yes.
this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's an honor, guys. I love it. This is awesome.
I want to thank the behind the scene workers. You guys are amazing.
You're the best.
Without you guys, this wouldn't happen. And I think the whole takeaway is just like it's really cool to see like different actors work as different characters, and like yourself trying to figure out this character that is like kind of the opposite of you, and like really discovering someone new. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Thank you, Jack.
It was really cool to learn all about just this world,
Mhm.
and learning about the game and seeing.
Well, and real quickly, because none of you, and this is not a bad thing, but none of you had played the game before this project, right?
No.
Continue then.
Yeah, just learning about how intricate video games and plot lines within video games can be, and kind of just gaining a new appreciation for that.
I don't think I really knew what I was getting myself into. This is such an elaborate, and like you said, this world is just so like detailed and people go so hard for it. So the takeaway, this has been such an amazing experience, and I've definitely found a new appreciation for gaming and this game, and thank you again for this opportunity to bring us all together to do this.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I still think it's kind of like insane how I don't think a lot of us really knew each other a lot before any of this, and then we all just mutually come into a class, and the characters look exactly like us.
Yeah, that
And
was
it just all fits together so like seamlessly, right? And then the amazing script that you've written from your imagination plus from the game too, trying to create and bring this film to life is really just amazing. And the fact that we're all together having a blast with it, it's nothing I ever thought happened before. So, thank you.
Yeah, it was just so fun for me, especially it's my first time on set, as you guys know, being an
Yes.
actor and officially working with.
Woo!
Yeah.
It was just such a learning
I just want
curve.
to say,
Yes.
for being your first time, you killed it.
Yes, you did.
Seriously, I could not have wanted David to be brought, I'm serious, to be brought to life in any other way.
Thank
You
you.
killed it,
Yeah, but
absolutely.
it was just so cool to learn about how like film comes together, working with the behind the scenes, going over like our script and like really diving into like our character development and what we want to like show our fans. So it's just so cool to be a part of the world. Much love. Thank you.
Totally. Same. I mean, you guys were awesome to work with. I took away awesome friendships. We're gonna definitely keep talking and hopefully keep going with this wonderful adventure, and such a respect for the gaming world. And yeah, we just had a great time. Everybody on set was awesome. Learned a lot about just from the experience, just exactly being on set, and having to bring the same intensity every single time, you know, when you're going into a scene and then you have to switch, and it was just really great, and I really appreciate all of you guys, so thank you.
Awesome. I wanna thank all of you guys from me as well, because like I said, it's not many, I really couldn't believe the fact that I brought in the script, I walked into the class and saw all of you. And I asked you guys about it, and you guys were all available and willing to take time out of your everyday lives to come over here and do this for me, and just to have a nice little social group now that we have. It was so much fun to get with this story, and I want to thank Paul as well, because Paul played.
Aw,
Paul-
Ace.
Paul played
Aw.
Ace, perfectly, and it was just so cool to get to work with all you guys and meet all of you guys, and to see you guys bring each of these characters and their quirks to life. So I really appreciate it, and behavior, I'm staring you dead in the eye. This is gonna continue, this project. So you better get in contact with me, because we wanna keep going, and we hope that the gamers who love Dead by Daylight wanna see us continue to progress with this film and this world. And we really appreciate it, and everybody who watches this film, please leave feedback, let us know. And we appreciate the fans and everybody so much, so thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed Saved by Daylight. Have a good day.
Yay, bye, thank you.